be on the sides.
Yeah, we're trying to. Hi, everybody. I know you want to be in the shade, right? So that's smart. I wanted to talk about this work, and thank you all for coming so much. I had a big fear of being alone in this talk, so I'm really grateful to have people to talk with, and that's really what I was hoping for, is to have a little dialogue about the work or about the creative process, because that's what I'm really interested in. So I realized that I've been interested in drawing houses and painting houses for many years. In fact, I realized the other day that I had another series of houses that I did a long time ago, and that's one of the paintings from that series. So you can see it's kind of a very different kind of feel to that work. And then this work kind of started, I think, because I love houses on stilts. Does anybody else love houses on stilts? So I hear something about that, right? So that's how this started. And then as I work, my work is always about personal expression and my emotions, which are plentiful. And so that's how I work. I just express my emotions, and this time it was through the houses. And what kind of amazed me was the houses became like metaphors and stand-ins for like all these different things. So like climate change and the terrible things going on in the world, and then my own personal, things of loss or distance and love. So they all kind of, for me, that's how they came out. And it just it was a very easy, just come one after another. And I think because it's such a simple shape, and I could just play with it any way I want, and so I could just do it, right? And they're all chalk pastels, Rembrandt chalk pastels on paper. And I just, also that, iconic shape of the house. And I just think home and house is just all just so laden with great material, to work with. So the other thing I wanted to say is that as these pieces were going up on my wall, and my students are like, they were watching it behind me, because that's I do teach online, and these were behind me, and so they are seeing them in person. But it kind of kept building, so the drawings wanted to be seen. They were kind of begging me to get out and be seen and be talked about. And that's never happened to me before, because I do my work for me, and then I show it and hope that other people like it. But in this case, the work really wanted to get out there, so that's why. And I'm showing it, and I'm showing it I was trying to make it like my studio wall. I was trying to that's how it goes, and they were all tacked up like that. And yeah, so I think that's what I wanted to say, and I would love to hear if you have your own thoughts. I know we're very spread out, and so it's hard to talk loud if you're shy, but I would love to hear any questions about the creative process, or any questions about the work.
Which is the first one you started? When you were at the point of saying, okay, I'm going to do a new undertaking, and I'm thinking about houses, where did you begin?
That's such a hard question, because I don't remember. I can make it up. Well, I'm saying it's not that. It's
So was it the shape? Was
Yeah,
it the
I mean,
feeling?
this was
Yeah.
one of the first.
Yeah.
And this came very close after that. So that's what I would say. And this was an earlier one too. Oh, can you tack that one?
Do you have a favorite?
Really? No. I don't think I have a favorite, but there are some that I really like. Yeah.
Lauren, how long did it, like, when did you, what year did you start?
So I think I looked yesterday and it was about 8 months ago.
Oh, only in 8 months, okay.
Yeah. So this is about 8 months
Okay.
worth of work. And I started a painting to see, like, I don't know where it's going to go. And at first I told everyone I'm not going to sell the drawing because it's in process. But once I took them off the wall, then it just seemed like I'm not going to put them back on the wall. It just feels like, I've done that already. So I have to make room for new work, and I don't know if this is going to turn into paintings or continue with these or not. Yeah.
What's the significance of the stilts? Why does that speak to you so much? I get it, but I want to hear what you think.
No, they're just so awesome when you see houses on stilts, and I love the way you can animate them. Also, I like giving things legs, and they worked really well. And then, then as you're thinking about climate change and the need to rise up and also, that's what I mean, like that kind of snowball of like meaning that they kind of took on. Who has a favorite? I can ask a question. Yeah.
I'd like you to talk about the difference between ones like this one here in the corner
Uh-huh.
that look to me more precise or more finished, if you will. And this one, the third one from the top, the third from the right, the top one.
Oh, here?
Yeah. That I would call more raw or rougher.
Yeah.
And I'm interested in generally how you think about the difference, if you see a difference, and then when you decide it's finished.
Okay. So those are a few questions. Let's see. I don't think a lot. Right? So it's more a knowing than a thinking. And my students will tell you I'm always like, it's from here or your soul or your heart or whatever out. So and then at some point some thinking happens, but it's only to serve the piece, right? So the thinking is like, what does it need to make it itself? So that's only how I can answer that part. Does that make any sense? Yeah.
This one though looks a lot different to me than many of your other works. So I'm just wondering if something different was going on, or
I think
if it seems different to you.
all of these pieces you mean.
No, that one in particular.
This one.
Yes.
It's so funny because a lot of people are really drawn to that particular piece. And it was a very fast piece, so I don't know, but it's just like, man, we are freaking all in this together, and we, we're gonna have to be on stilts and stuff, like I just.
All in together.
It is called In It Together. And yeah, I mean, and it's really interesting to me which ones people like and gravitate towards, because I don't know. So I tried to title them in a way that kind of says what I want, but also allows for your own way of seeing it. Yeah. So like this one is called Tipping Point. You know, I just, yeah, it's an, like I wrote in the statement, I think it's a really interesting time to be alive, and a really challenging time in terms of the world and climate change, and I just really feel like we're like, this is when we got to live, right? In the history of people, like this is like we all are living at the same time, right? And this is our time when these things are happening. And that's, I think, why I feel that I want the connection between the work and you all, is because we're going through the same things together, separately, but also together. And also good things happen. There are happy ones about love and stuff like that too. We're all experiencing all those things also. Any other thoughts? Any thoughts? What are your favorites? My favorites are not other people's favorites. This one,
That's my favorite.
it is?
Yeah.
It's called Slipping Away.
Oh, and I was
And
gonna
that's how,
call
like,
it dancing as fast as I can. Or running as fast as I can, right?
Yeah, I mean, like, it just like really hit the nail on the head for me. And I actually also really like Tipping Point. And honestly, I do like a lot of them. I like this one. You know, we see each other in this situation. And I think this is just something, you know, this was clearly a climate change one, right? I like that one too. Didn't see that coming. So those are some of my favorites. But I honestly like a lot of them. And I guess I also want to say, for those of you who make art, I think it's okay to say you like your work and feel like you like your work and like your work, you know, and love your work. Like, I think that's allowed.
So maybe you beg the question, how did you choose to title them? Is does the title come to you somewhere in the process, or at the end you step back and say, here's the feeling, let me find it? Right.
So, that's a good question. Sometimes the title comes as I'm working, you know, like the thought comes. But I think if any of you have seen my morning sketches that I haven't been showing for a long time because I wanted to show these, they're sketches I do with my left hand when I'm right-handed, and I do them every morning. And I was posting them, so I was giving them little titles. And there's something about these drawings that feel like those to me. And I use the same kind of title thing. You know, somehow that sort of felt like it gives you like a clue, but you could, different people will see it in different ways. And I always say, Marcel Duchamp said that a title is an invisible color. And before I used to hate titling my work because it's just, you know, why words? You know, why do we always need freaking words? The work is the work. And it's about seeing. But I, you know, through showing my work, I know that people kind of sometimes need something to get in. And so I've learned that. But these were just a joy to title. And that's different too. me title these. I have no idea. And I didn't really do that with these at all because I don't know. They were just like those morning sketches. The titles were just kind of came easily.
Like you said, the drawings themselves sort of tumbled out and the titles with them.
Yeah, yeah, and I think the work made itself in a way, and like I said, it wanted to be seen. I thought, do I want to do this show? It's right near my retreat, which I do at the end of the month, and it's freaking a lot of work on both of those things. And my cousin, who's an artist, said, well, what does the work say? And I knew what the work was saying. It wanted to be seen. It wanted to be shared. So, there it is. The work won. You gotta listen to the work. Any other questions? Yeah?
Are there any artists or artistic movements that you feel have been especially influential in creating this series? Like that you've sort of been inspired by?
I don't know if I mean, I love a lot of art and a lot of artists, but I can't say that this particular work. I feel like my work's just so personal. It's just my expression, and I don't have anybody else in my. No one else is allowed in my head. When they come, they're tossed. Occasionally, someone can be in the room, not a real person, but you know, somebody can kind of exist in there, but only there's very certain people. I don't know. That's not a good answer, but I can't give a better one.
And Lauren, these were chalk pastels?
Yeah, these are the chalk pastels. They are also called soft pastels. It's the same thing. And these are Rembrandt soft pastels, which are really nice pastels to work with. And then you fix them.
As you explored the form, did you explore other medium?
Did I explore it in other media? Well, I kind of did other drawing, not in chalk. Did a bunch of that, and I did start a painting, like I said. But and I was going to show it, and then we decided. Elliot said, "Well, you know," and it's not ready. I wanted to show it because I wanted to say this could be the progression, but I don't really know what the progression is. I was kind of, yeah. But yes, drawing in pen or whatever. And then when I look back at my work, I see I've been drawing houses like this for forever. But you know, it's all, you're just doing it. But I think that's what happens when you make art over a long period of time. There are certain like shapes or things that like, when you look back, you see you've been doing that for a long time. That's something in you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You've done with your clay is just hot for the first time.
Yeah. So I was not going to sell the drawings because I thought they're in process and I need them on the wall. But then I took them down from the wall to show you, and then I was like, oh, well, I guess now I can sell them. But so these are the originals are on for sale, but in the meantime, I had thought, well, maybe I can get prints made for people if they'd like to have the piece. So there's this woman who does these beautiful giclée prints, and so I had her do a couple, and I loved them, so I had some more made, and you can order. This is, you know, I'm doing advertising. You can order any one of these drawings in the small, which is on the table, or the medium, or the large, and I'll have her make it for you. And I'm really impressed with the reproduction. So giclée is like a very high quality inkjet copy, and they're on watercolor paper.
Hi, I am wondering what benefit you get from scheduling.
And then my students say what she asked what benefit I get from sketching with my non-dominant hand. And I'm wondering if any of you can answer that, and I'll answer it too. Oh, yeah, it's really fun. You can also draw with your eyes closed. The non-dominant hand, and when they say freedom, I mean, part of it is because you know you can't draw with your non-dominant hand. So there's no judgment. So you can be very free. And then, like you were saying, I think it does allow you to access a different part of your brain.
It allows you to see things that are otherwise hidden to you in another, if you're just working with your right, but the left sort of opens that up.
Plus it's fun.
That is
It is
freaking
fun.
fun.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, because you can't lose. You can't lose. If you haven't drawn with your non-dominant hand, everybody, you should give that a try. And thank you so much. I'm so appreciative for you to stay. And if you have any other thoughts or questions, I love to hear. Thank you.
I love the personification. You can see that right away. I did live through a hurricane, so some of the climate change ones really stress me out. I mean, really, that's the feeling I get, is getting a little nervous looking at certain ones. So, but so I can see it. It's very easy to see. So it's beautiful.
Thank you. That's really cool. I mean, it evoked feeling for you. And, I always think that music does that so beautifully. And I think art is can be a little more of a challenge, but hopefully one of them relates to everyone anyway. One of them relates to someone.
One last thought.
One should relate to
Each person. I think this is a book. I think this is, we're all in it together, and it's all the Ghibli prints in a book, because it really does define the time, the space, the experience that we've just had. So I'm planting that. I think it's a book.
Thank you. Can I ask a question? Do you guys see in it the world we live in?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Really appreciate it. My image was just talking to two people.
You have a follow.
I beg my people to come.
You don't have to beg.
They came.